So when it comes to a contractor that could be in some trouble, let's say he's at a job that he's done,
Yep.
and he's had an incident where he's been threatened with action,
Yep.
believes he's done everything right, has a builder that may or may not be around, but a client that's after him, and that knock on the door comes. What can the AIW do for the applicator?
Talk to them on a one-on-one basis. I get a lot of these. I've got a fair history and VCAT background from another business I was involved in some years ago.
So there's some legal advice you can guide them to as well?
We try not to give advice because we don't want to get involved in that, but what we do is it's school of hard knocks. It's actually just saying this is what I've been through, or one of our committee members has been through, and we share that out and we talk about it, get to our meetings and we say this chap's got this problem, anybody been through something similar to that, someone will put up their hand, and we get a bit of feedback, and then we can then impart that to the person. Quite often we'll connect up that person that's asking the question directly with the committee member, and they'll just have a chat on the phone about it, or an email or whatever. And for better or for worse, if we think they're doing the wrong thing, we'll tell them.
Yeah.
Say, no, look, sorry mate, you've done the wrong thing here. You really need to step up to the plate here and get it sorted. You know?
But if someone is desperately needing some sort of advice in terms of what should they do next,
yeah.
Okay, you don't give out advice, but can you guide them on where to go and get the advice?
Yeah, we can.
Because we hear, the worst case scenarios are when people are helpless, and guys, they think they've done all the right things, but they've come unstuck unknowingly with what's happened on site.
Yep.
Either trade before them, or the builder's gone bust and done a shitty job, and it's really put them in a problem. And they can come to people like us, but we're a manufacturer. It's always going to look like we're pushing our product.
Yeah.
A body like the AIW or the NBA or the HIA, the Tile Council, etc. Landscapers Association, very active over here as well. We know they're looking for those sorts of bodies. Can the waterproofers be seen to come to the AIW, knowing that that's where they can sort of confidently get that support? Exactly,
that's what it's about. It's not just members actually. We get a lot of general public approaching us and saying, "I've got this problem. A waterproofer's done this. What should we do?" We usually don't ask who it is because it's trying to remain impartial. Yeah. Sometimes it slips out.
Yep.
But we also say, no, this is what you should expect as a consumer from your waterproofer. Okay. So it's a way of trying to be fair about the whole thing and just what people should expect and pay for.
Let's get on the topic about what you've seen in your time as president, not as a contractor. What have you seen in the national market through the other committee members, the other chapters, but where are we still not getting it right in waterproofing through your eyes at the moment?
It's a big question.
We've got time.
I suppose to try and summarise it, it's about builders pushing for completion times, and that's the cruncher with speed, speed, get it done, get it now. Not caring about climatic conditions. And this is a big topic. Builders says, it stopped raining now, come and do the waterproofing, and we all know the problems with that. So the substrate's still wet.
And they don't want to pay for the miracle product or the miracle solution.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So they might, an extra application to combat that. No, not going to pay for that. That's your problem. You're the waterproofer. So we see this as a major problem, particularly for the smaller contractors. And they get hit really bad with this financially, time's money, and they turn up on site to do the job, it's not ready, and that becomes a major financial problem for them. And of course, as soon as they fall into financial difficulty, and some of the little guys might take on a fairly sizable contract, some small item like that will cause a major problem, and it can send them broke overnight.
Yeah, sadly we see that, and that's what you don't want. Yeah. So then, where are the things that have improved in your time as education? What are you saying?
Education is what it's all about. It's really about sharing what collectively we know, and those who have been through the ringer, if you like, just impart that with the people who are going, or try not to let them go through it in the first place. Yeah. But if they're in amongst it, well, that's part of it. We try and help them through it.
So, have you found that in that time of being with the education side, have there been more contractors doing the Certificate 3?
Yes, huge.
And the AIW endorse that and really encourage members to be Certificate 3?
I'm of the opinion, and our fellow committee members are of the opinion, that any education is good education. But what we're seeing is a lot of RTOs coming through just doing it on the bandwagon, so to speak, putting out courses that really aren't Cert 3. There are coffee cup and a biscuit type
Yeah.
qualification. We're seeing a lot of that. They're getting subsidised, and once they get their subsidies about it, and I've got a personal experience with that, which I'm bittered about, and I put my guys through a Cert 3 course, and really they didn't learn much.
So the AIW, are you starting to endorse RTOs that can carry that? You say, well, you know, from opinion or
We are.
a reputation
We
or
are.
a recommendation?
We'll look at what they're delivering and say, okay, it's a fair and reasonable course. And then if someone rings us and says, okay, where can we send you? We'll say, look, we're not going to recommend, but we know that these people are delivering a decent course, so perhaps that's someone you should be looking at. You know.
Let's talk about the standards and regulations, where they need to change, because this comes up frequently. Where does the AIW sit with that? Is part of the committee and party members being a voice to hear where change should be driven and what we want? And then where are we at as an AIW in terms of driving that change? Like the standard now, AS 4858,
Yeah.
you know, we can sit and complain, but it's outdated.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about this. We're seeing things like modular, prefab enter the market in a big way, starting to disrupt construction in a good way. And it's not, and I know firsthand, it's not keeping up with the standards. So there's designers that have actually designed methods that are actually better than what we're doing on site, yet they don't comply.
Yeah.
Where's the AIW going to start to sit in terms of pushing for change in that area?
Yeah, well, the awareness side of it is just a general osmosis throughout the public and the industry, but we're also lobbying the government. So we're talking to the Victorian Building Authority here in Melbourne, and that's what myself and David, the Secretary, David Hepworth, he and I we've spent so much time in there, but it's red tape to cut through.
Yeah.
We get so far, and then they'll change the committee. So then we've got to start afresh. We've done this 4 times now, and it's to a point of exhaustion, whereas I'm a little standoffish now. I think we're wasting our time.
Is it what? And this is just a question we haven't spoken about this, but is it a way that the AIW could engage with some other powerful bodies like the NBA, HIA, Toll Council, to drive it as a group towards what needs to be changed?
Exactly.
Back to the government.
You're on the money. Spot on. That's exactly the way we're starting to look at it now. We're starting to look at insurance companies.
Yeah. Okay.
So starting to drive it from that angle, from the financial aspect. So we're driving it backwards. We've got some meetings set up in the very near future with some insurance professionals. I won't go into it at the moment, but we want to talk to them about how we can facilitate that and get the insurance companies on our side to get that message back to the government and say, look, this is a very real problem. It needs to be addressed and it needs to be looked at.
These government, sorry, not the government bodies, but are you finding there's confident there'd be a common alignment with the HIA, the NBA, and the Toll Council, for example? Like, have we all got the same vested interest?
It's getting closer. I mean, like Master Builders doesn't talk to each other throughout states. We're slowly getting a little bit of interaction there through the waterproofing course. And the HIA we don't hear a lot of. There's not a big voice there. We'd love to get more interaction from them. But I suppose time and motion again as well. So if anybody in the HIA is watching this, please come and see us. That's what it's all about. Yeah. Yeah,
well, there's HIA members out there and HIA players. I've sent a few discussion points with a couple that we'll definitely be watching and keen to see. But I think it's more than just the HIA. We need to get, I think you started off with the best description. It's about people that care. We've got a situation in the industry where we don't just have waterproofers and tilers that are getting in trouble. Builders are, but more importantly, the end client, which is the asset owner, the building owner or the homeowner. And they are very helpless in many ways. We've seen the horror stories from that.
Yeah.
We've documented on this program a couple of times. Where can we educate? I mean, some of the things we see in waterproofing just would not be accepted in other trades like plumbing or electrical. Yet, like you said before, the builder just says, well, hey, I need this done, to stop raining and hurry up and do it, I'm not paying any extra dollar. If it was an electrician, he'd tell him to piss off, and I've got to comply, I've got to do this properly. Yeah. Ideally, is the AIW thought about in the perfect world how we want this lined up and how to, because the other thing is waterproofing is not a respected trade or even an acknowledged trade. So you talk about architect specifications, we see it bundled into the bricklayers package, the landscapers package, the tilers package. there's not a waterproofing package, or rarely we see that.
Yeah, that's true.
So what's the ideal picture for that?
Yeah, it's a big task, but on the same token, we're trying to get, I suppose, everybody involved talking about it. So once we're talking about it, we get a cohesive group together. So if you get that cohesion, then, as you mentioned before, you've got a chap comes in, and the builder might say, I've got to get it done. Someone who's strong will say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that today, I'll come back when it dries out. So keep it simple. Whereas applicator B will come in and say, I'll do it, mate, no worries, chuck him out, get him in. We've got to stop that from happening, and that's about the cohesion of getting everybody like-minded and being strong enough to say, no, it's not right, it's not going to happen, or we can offer these solutions, and that's part of it.
Yeah, in most industries there's always the point of accountability, and so when these things end up in court, the ugly stories, it'll come back to the bugger that's actually accepted the substrate and worked on it. But what we don't have in the industry is accountability. And that accountability gets passed around. If we're in a room of different people here at the moment, one would point at the manufacturer, one would point at the applicator, one the designer, the builder. Where does it sit, wholeheartedly, and where does it need to, is it sitting in the right position at the moment, or do we need to make sure that we direct accountability, because it needs to start somewhere and then filter down, instead of at the moment it's just like, it's a moving target and just point at whoever you can.
Well, Victoria have been lobbying for registration. That's been going on for a long time.
When you say registration, explain
as a registered trade.
Yeah,
okay?
Great.
I mean, it'd be great to have apprentices and all the rest, but I think we're a long, long way off that.
Yeah.
But we've been pushing for registered trade. Queensland's got a registered trade, so at least they've got a little bit of a whipping hand there.
Yep.
So they've got to be, if we can get that registration nationwide, I think that's a great start.
And some people might be asking, watching now, why can't we do it nationally? Why does it have to be by state?
It's got to go through the government. They've got to veto it. It doesn't happen if the government says it's not going to happen. That's why we've been lobbying with the government to try and get that to happen. And we got a long way forward with it, and then it just stopped. Yeah. So the committee gets broken up, as I mentioned before. So, but if we will try again. I think we'll give it another shot and see what happens. But I'm not quite sure how we get around it. We've been looking for some help, I suppose, from anybody that might know more about it to talk to us. We've spoken to various people that say, yes, we can help, we can help. We get so far and then it seems to stop.
Yeah, if there's any lawyers out there that have major leaking problems, they're probably the best way to make contact, because they're the ones who started.
That's it, yeah.
But has AIW modelled themselves on another association or body and go, you know what, they've got it right, we need to try and
we haven't
capture that?
No.
Benchmarking against someone else?
Yeah. I suppose as far as an association goes, the interaction's minor as far as with other bodies.
And why is that, Paul?
I think it's just time and motion, really. I don't think it's standoff or anything like that. I think it's just really the fact that everybody's time poor, really.
Because it's a subject that no one wants to talk about until the shit hits the fan.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's changing. I think that's really changing, with this voice that we are going out there and doing it. We're about to get with the ACRA to go up and have some talks with them. In fact, that's booked for the 25th of September. I'm going up to Queensland to talk with the ACRA Association. That's great. That's the first time we've been involved there since I've been involved. So I'll be going up to do that, and we'll see how that rolls. I think that'll be great, and get a bit of an interaction there and get some synergy happening. We've also got, and I'm trying to think of the acronym, but it's the building materials suppliers. There's a group of body that we've just connected with as well, and we're going to get a bit of synergy going with them as well. So,
just on that matter, so at the moment with your members, well, let's just look at the committee, because they're the major decision makers. Where's your percentage split up between sort of contractors versus manufacturers versus specifiers? You got a snapshot of that people understand?
Probably, I'm thinking through, contractors would probably be about less than a third, and the rest would be made up of manufacturers, engineers, suppliers. I mean, it's a broad sort of angle they're coming from different aspects. We've got I remember who's ex-CSIRO. He's been with them forever. Barry Schaefer, great man. Knows his stuff.
Yeah, very knowledgeable,
Yeah, and Barry's a great sort of person to come back to. And but again, you know, he's in retirement, so he's doing what he needs to do. And
in between the golf days.
Yeah, and you know, he gives up a lot of his time. Actually, he's really good.
So to wrap it up from here, then, if anyone wants to actually become a member or know more about it, and they're in WA or up in Queensland, Northern Queensland or Tassie, or in a regional area of Australia, what do they do, Paul, from here?
Contact the AIW. Just as a website, they come on the, just jump on the website and have a look at it.
And that website is AIW?
Yeah, AIW.com.au. It's simple, yeah. It's a .org site, and or you know, you can call me direct. You know, I'm happy to take calls directly and send them an application form, talk to them about what's available. I mean, what we're offering basically is support. We've got a website full of drawings. We've gone through the drawings. They still need a little bit of work, but generally they're pretty good. We've put a practical approach on those drawings, not just straight out of the standards book, but we've said practically it needs this and practically it needs that. So we've put practical notes with all those little drawings. So for applicators and the like, or even architects and engineers, they can look at those drawings and go, okay, it makes sense on how this needs to happen on this part of the job. You know. And
in terms of suppliers like around the country that are involved in waterproofing, or even other manufacturers, they can just do the same, get on the website and inquire about becoming a member. Yeah, and actually really encourage our suppliers and contractors and everybody to each month give us their stories. And if you've got, we don't. Be a few of those, out there. Yeah, there's lots. We don't go for product sell. It's not a product sell, but it's really about we've done a job. We used a polyurethane, or we used a torch on, or we used something, and we got great success out of it, and happy clients, and we like those stories, and we like they go into the newsletter. We like to put 3 or 4 of those in each month, or each quarter now it is, and. More sort of information that we can get back from all our members and collectively, and then put it in the newsletter and share it. All right, guys. So look, if you want to engage in this discussion any further, you heard it from Paul Evans from the AIW. You can get onto the website, inquire about membership, or just inquire about even that voice that Paul discussed. And if you've got any messages or chat about it to me, put it in through a DM, or just engage in the conversation for us on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to find out more about the AIW, get hold of this man here. He said you can call him. The president is available. Thanks very much. No worries. Cheers.